It's feared that tens of millions of pounds of public money has been lost to fraudsters who are targeting the government's universal credit benefit system. The BBC has learnt that the scammers often pretend to be from the local job centre. They offer to get money on behalf of claimants in return for a fee. The victims often only realise they've been duped when their current benefits stop, they're left in debt and have to repay the money to the government. Around 100,000 requests for universal credit loans are made each month. It's thought about 10% are fraudulent, according to a government source, with a typical illegal loan totalling around £1,500. It means fraud with universal credit is potentially 4 times higher than with other benefits. With this exclusive report, here's our social affairs correspondent Michael Buchanan.
Universal Credit is a new service that helps ensure you're better off in work than you are on benefits.
It's the welfare benefit that has become the fraudster's friend. And how much did you get?
In my bank account was £1,525.
And how much did you have to pay him?
£1,000.
Exploiting an online loophole to leave people in debt.
He told me I'd put in for universal credit.
And that was the first you knew about it?
And that was the first to know.
Tens of millions of pounds stolen from taxpayers.
To see that it's happening on this extent is an absolute scandal.
Jade Thomas is a victim of the fraudsters. She was offered £500 by a man who said he could access government grants. Unbeknown to her, the mum of 5 was signed up online for universal credit. The first she knew was when her other benefits were stopped and she went to the job centre.
They told me that they'd signed up for 5 children with different names, children I don't have, with different ages. They told me that I'd been signed up with a 5-bedroom house when I'm only in a 3.
The fraudster took 2/3 of the £1,500 he'd claimed on her behalf. The money was a loan. She has to pay it all back to the government, but she wasn't the only one.
I'd say altogether there's one before me and my friend, and 4 to 5 others, so about 7, 8 people.
And he was signing you all up fraudulently for universal credit?
Yeah.
In an hour or 2?
Mm-hmm.
So over those couple of hours, he made thousands of pounds?
Yeah.
Job centre officials say the extent of the fraud is staggering, that money is pouring out of the public purse. Messages on an internal government online forum seen by the BBC highlight the extent of the problems. How many more times can claimants add children named Ha, Ha and Ha to their UC claims, or add a landlord called Harry Kane? This is a massive issue. They are literally making up street names and children. I have Lisa, Bart and Homer recently, Simpsons cartoon characters. A lot of what we see is uni students being approached to make a claim for a fee. 19 years old with 6 blind children. The loss of taxpayers' money could be in the region of £20 million.
This is absolutely a slap in the face to people who are struggling and in poverty, that the government are wasting money on fraud that they should be stopping and preventing before this rollout goes any further.
Angela Parry is now paying the cost of being scammed. She's been investigated for fraud after a man claimed he could offer her a payday loan, but instead signed her up for universal credit. So you're going to have to pay £60 a month until you repay the £1,500?
Yeah.
And you've lost the benefits you were on?
Yeah.
What have the past few weeks been like?
Bit daunting, thinking me rent, council tax and things, where I'm going to get the food, where I'm going to get gas and lecky. They told me to go to a food bank.
You can prepare for the change by going online.
One irony of these problems is that universal credit was actually designed to save £1 billion in fraud and error. Tonight, the Department for Work and Pensions say they were aware of this scam and had a team working to identify cases. They also say that in the context of about 2 million people or so on universal credit, only a relatively small number of people were being affected. The reason this is a problem is essentially to do with the design of universal credit. By paying people in arrears and then making them wait weeks for the first payment, they found some people couldn't cope. So they decided to speed up the process and make these advanced loans easier to get. But in doing so, it seems they have allowed fraudsters to make off with tens of millions of pounds.